All right. So today, what we're working on, so I can get that to focus a little bit better. There you go. We are working on some division problems. And so I know most of you are doing, like you're working on STAR, getting ready for STAR, practicing. These are just some videos to kind of help you. As you can see at the top that I have just gotten some problems from Lead Forward. You can see what the TEAC is, which is 5.3C. Some of you don't even know what that means. You don't even care. But what we are going to do on this is we're going to determine, it looks like we are either we're going to determine what operation we're doing first, right? So let's read the problem. Nicholas put 1,012 baseball cards into boxes. He put 22 cards in each box. How many boxes did Nicholas need for these baseball cards? Okay, so one of the things I love about Lead Forward is that if these are really STAR questions, it gives you kind of a breakdown of what happened in the state, kind of like, who chose the percentage of students across the state who chose these answers. And it always gives you the correct answer. So it'll either say the correct answer is C here, or it gives you the correct answer here. So for the parents who are out there just giving their students some extra practice, and then this is, an opportunity for you to see what the correct answer is. Okay. All right. So let's say Nicholas, again, most of your work is going to be on a computer, but you still need to use your scratch paper. Although you may be brilliant, math is not always done just in your brain. You want to make sure that you are writing out those problems. So I love to use a model drawing. Strip diagrams are great for my brain because I get a picture, okay? So this is our whole. Let's see what we're doing with that. So Nicholas put 1,012 baseball cards into boxes. Okay, so that tells me that that's all the baseball cards he has, right? So all the baseball cards he has, we are going to put that number right at the top. We're basically going to take these, and I don't know if you play cards. So if you play Uno or if you play any kind of like matching card games, you have to you as the dealer, you have to share those things, right? So he's going to put these cards into boxes. It says he put 22 cards in each box. Well, I don't know how many boxes he had, but I know he's got 22 cards in them in each box. So that's another important number. So in box one, he's going to have how many cards? 22. In box two, he's going to have 22 cards. Okay. And how many cards does he have? Well, we don't know that yet. So I'm going to be dot, 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 all the way down to a box question mark because I don't know how many cards he's got in there. So as I'm dealing these cards out, I'm putting 22, 22, 22, 22, 22 into every one of them, right? All right. So what do we do now? If we are sharing, dividing, partitioning, those are all things that are telling me that for this one, so that's sharing out, divvying out. If we're doing that, then we are going to, not necessarily partitioning, but if we're sharing things out, then we are dividing. So set your problem up. This is how this looks. And look here, under my little division house, I'm going to write the total here. That is the dividend. That's called the dividend. I like to think of it as dividing into it, right? It's inside of the division house, so dividend. And then this 22, because we know this, that's in each box. So that is the divisor, okay? With this, no one is expecting you to know what 1,012 divided by 22 is. We don't expect you to know that. We don't expect you to guess, right? But what you can do is say, okay, I don't really know. And I don't even know my 22 multiplication tables. But what I do know, if I do a T-chart and I put 22 here, I know 22 times 1 is 22. What about 22 times 2? Well, I don't know that, but I do know that 2 times 2 is 4. Write it. And then 2 times 20, because that 2 represents 20. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 20 is 40. So we have 44. Okay? Go to the next one. 2 times 3. I know that 3 times 2 is 6. I know that 3 times 2 is 6, but 3 times 20 would be 60. See how that 6 is in the tens place. Now, do I want you to go all the way down till you get to 1012? No, that would take a really, really long time. For those friends who have a calculator, you've already done it. You put this 1012 into your calculator and you press divided by that division sign, and then you put 22. You pressed equal and you're like ready to go. The rest of us have to do a little more work, okay? We can look at these first two digits. Can we divide these out? Can we divide those two numbers out, like the 22 into here? It's hard. We can't really see that. So we'll go over to the next number. So we're just going to look at that like it's 100, even though we know that it's not, like 101. We're going to look at it that way. We know that this is 1012, but we're just looking at a little bits at a time right now. We're using the standard algorithm this way. Here, 4 times 2, 8. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 20, because that 2 represents 20, is 80. Okay? We're close, but we're not there yet. Let's do 5. 5 times 2, we know is 10. Got 2 5s in your pocket, making change for somebody that has a 10. So 5 times 2 is 10. Put your 0, you're regrouping. 5 times 2 is 10, plus that 1 you regrouped is 11. Ooh, we just passed it, right? So instead of this 101 that we're kind of seeing, we're going to ignore that for a minute. But that 101 we see, we just passed it. So 101 divided by 22 is, it's not 5 because that's too big. That number is too big. But 88, ooh, right? So I'm going to take this number. So I'm going to have 4 right here over that 1 because we used all of this. 4 times 22, we know is 88. Make sure that if you're doing standard algorithm, that you put the 8 ones under there. Like if you go too far over, you just want to make sure that you are writing the numbers on the correct space. Okay, don't go too far over. All right, let's subtract. Well, I cannot subtract 8 from that 1. I'm basically regrouping this 10. So that's 9. 11 subtract 8 would be 3. 9 subtract 1. 9 subtract 8 would be 1. Well, and then we already kind of regrouped that, so we don't have to worry about that now. This 2, don't forget about it. We got to bring it on down. All right. I'm going to bring the 2 down. It's 132. All right. So looking at my answer choices now, look up here. So we know our answer choice is going to start with a 4. If we wanted to, we could get rid of these 2. This one and this one, because you got to know a little bit about what you're doing. And then, but if you don't want to do that, you want to finish it out, we can do that because we still have 2 answer choices that are, that start with 4s. Okay. We can keep going. 6 times 2 is 12. Put your 2, regroup the 1. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13, but we know that 2 represented 20. I'm just going to go ahead and put 13 here. Look, we got our answer. 6. So 6, 132 divided by 22 is 6. Look, I love when we have no remainders. Okay, I wrote it there. 132 minus 132 is 0. We don't have to continue on. So if we look at our answer choices, there's that 46. I like to say, check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right. So make sure that when you see this 46, when you get your answer here at the top, when you get your quotient, you want to make sure that you go back and check yourself before you wreck yourself. You want to multiply your quotient times your divisor. If you feel comfortable with dividing, right? With multiplying. So 2 times 6 is 12. Put my 2, regroup my 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Okay, so now we have 92. 46 times 2 is 92. Done with the 2, drop that 0, move over to the next place value. Remember, when you move over to the left, multiply by 10 and move to the left, all right? So here, 2 times 6 is 12. We know that because we just did it here. I'm going to put my 2, regroup that 1. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. We already said that we were not multiplying by 4, really. We're multiplying by 40. So we're just going to, that makes sense. So 46 times 20 is 920. Just like 46 times 2 was 92. Remember, multiply by 10 and, yep, you're right, move to the left. So here, 2 plus 0. Miss McQueen has lost her mind. These are kind of like partial products. So here, 2 plus 0, 2. 9 plus 2, 11. Regroup. 1 plus 9 is 10. Okay? If you get the number that's under the dividend or under the house, then that's your answer. So we have proven that 46 is the right answer. Okay? Let's do one more division problem, and then you can make up your own numbers in order to divide. Okay? Next division problem. We're just going to set it up. We won't solve it. I'll let you solve it. We're going to set it up. So tickets for a school event were sold for $18 each. A total of $4,554 was collected from these ticket sales. Oh, Miss McQueen was doing some reading there. Let's read that over again. So tickets for a school event were sold for $18 each. That's interesting. A total, there's another interesting word, of $4,554 was collected from these ticket sales. How many tickets were sold for this event? First thing you want to do is get a picture in your head. Draw your strip diagram. We said total. We're putting on the top, baby. Putting on the top. So $4,554. I might need that right about now. Okay, so that's my total that goes to the top. I'm going to label it so I know that it's money. Get me excited about it. All right, so going back to that, it says tickets for the school event were $18 each. And we don't know how many tickets, but we know that they were $18 each, right? It's asking us how many tickets. Okay, so ticket 1, first ticket they sell, is going to cost how much? $18, baby, $18. Second ticket they sell is going to be $18. All the way down to that mystery number, that mystery ticket. I don't know if that's like the golden ticket, but it is a mystery ticket number. We don't know how many, but we know that whatever number it was, we sold it for, you're right, $18. So when you set this problem up, this is the kind of picture that should be in your head. Okay? Total goes under the house. Total goes under the house. 4,554. And this each, we're going to throw it to the side because that's the only number we have. Now, if we had the groups, then that groups would go here as the divisor. Whatever you are looking for, that is going to be the quotient. So the ticket number of tickets is going to be our quotient when we get our answer. Okay? Whatever we have, whatever we know, whether we know the each or whether we know the number of groups, that's going to be your divisor. All right. Again, we cannot divide 18 by 4. If you have a 2-digit number here, you have to look at least the first 2 digits. I'm not going to do the whole thing with you, but remember, I don't expect you to know your 18 multiplication tables. I don't know mine, but I do know 18 times 1 is 18. And then 2 times 8 is 16. Put my 6, regroup my 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus that 1, 36, baby. Now, if you are someone that's like, I cannot multiply, I do not like it, right? Let me show you another way. You know that it's multiplying, but you don't like multiplying, then just add. Just add. Whoa, we got a little fuzzy there. There you go. Sorry about that. So if you don't like to do the multiplication part, you don't want to do that T-chart, just add. This is going to take a lot longer. You can be accurate. It might not be efficient, okay? So 8 plus 8 is 16. Put my 6, regroup my 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. We got the same answer, right? So whichever one. How many 18s do you see? 2. 2 18s equals 36. Okay? If I have 2 18s, I put them together, 36. If I have 18 times 2, I'm going to get 36. Well, I'm not yet to 45, which is those two numbers I want to divide into. Remember, dividend, you're dividing into it. So I'm going to add another 18 because multiplication is just repeated addition. 6 and 8 is 14. So, and I mean 6 plus 8, but Miss McQueen was doing a little shortcut there. I regroup that 110 over there to the side into the tens column. So 3 tens, 1 10 is 4 tens, plus another 10 is 5 tens. We have 54. You're going to get the very same answer over here on the table if you were doing it the way we did earlier, okay? We just passed it. So because we passed it, we know it can't be 3. We cannot make 3 groups of 18 out of this, right? So what we're going to do is go back to where we had not passed it yet. So we can make 2 groups of 18. I'm going to put the 2 over the 5 because we went over the first 2 numbers. 2 times 18 is 36. And then I'm just going to subtract. I do not have enough here in order to subtract 6. I'm going to regroup. Instead of having 3 there, instead of having 4, I'm going to have 3. I'm regrouping 10 of whatever, right? 15 subtract 6 is going to give me 9. 3 minus 3 is 0. I don't need to do anything with it. As long as this number is smaller than this number, you took out enough groups. If this number is equal to or bigger than that number, you did not take out enough. So that's a way to check yourself. Next number, and you continue with your table. You continue to divide until you don't have all these numbers are brought down, okay, until you're finished. So when you figure this one out, you'll do the same thing. You'll get an answer here. You bring down the 4, okay? All right, once you get an answer, you need to multiply to check yourself. That's the step. So first you want to do a model drawing. So first, model drawing. A little messy here. Second, if you need a T-chart, go ahead and make your T-chart. Okay? You want to do your division steps. So you want to divide. And then after you finish and you get your quotient, right? That's the answer to a division problem is a quotient. After you get your quotient, you want to check yourself before you wreck yourself. So then check yourself. Okay? All right. If you are doing those steps and you are still having difficulty, then practice some more problems. Again, Lead Forward is a great resource for you to use. And I might even do a video on how to get there so that you can have a reference on how to use the source. But really, I think one of the things that you should do is just get some numbers together, have someone give you some division problems, 5,968 divided by 27, like whatever you want. But you want to get the practice of doing this, okay? All right. Until next time, have a great day. Make sure you remember that math is fun and it should not be all done in your head.